Boxing fan Q&A.
Here we are today. We got a lot of great questions actually overnight because of us going live yesterday. It's all about what it takes to go pro and a lot of things that they don't tell you about going pro.
Yes.
So,
Beautiful thing about the going pro is that some of the boxers yesterday that were on were speaking to some of the influencers who are actually fighting in the pros. And a lot of you want to know, what can you do to go pro? Basically cut out the middleman with the amateur boxing. And that's what we're going to get into, because that's kind of where our game is going. It's more value in having an audience of people that know you, rather than just fighting a lot of fights and then going pro and not getting the opportunities anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess if you learn a couple of things about knowing exactly how to build an audience of people, just simple stuff that you can do, and then just kind of skip the middleman and get yourself right into the pros and start right off with the big bags of money is what I mean. And that's what I see happening currently with Jake Paul, KSI,
brand risk, promotions,
all of these different
misfits.
promotions. So as we know, all the promoters and a lot of people that are not aware that they are looking to fill cards up, and that's what we have to do. Aiden Ross got his promotion. John Jones got his dirty boxing.
Yep.
And Mike Perry. People are trying to build, and so what we're trying to do is help you, cut to the chase. But lo and behold, you got to know what you're doing in that ring,
because it's real. It's real when you step
but
in there.
there is a way that you can learn how to do this thing the right way and make money and not get yourself hurt and win. So we're going to go over that. So
So one of the biggest questions I'm going to go through, it's funny, you get some of the same ones over and over again.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on this a couple times this week, but it's worth bringing up again. What are promoters and matchmakers really looking for when they're deciding on who they put on the card?
Entertaining factor. So number one, they call it dynamic effect, right? Like Gervonta Davis has a dynamic effect. Mike Tyson had a dynamic effect. He still does. 108 million people watched him and Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
The dynamic effect is one of the things they're looking for. And if they can't get that, they want them to definitely bring entertainment value.
Yeah.
So Gotti Ward, they weren't the most talented fighters, but they brought entertainment. Blood and Guts Warrior, they named an award after them. So entertainment value and that dynamo effect. And then the third thing is audience. Do you have people?
It costs to put on these events.
Yeah.
A lot of money. And so they want to make sure they recoup. They just don't want to recoup. They'd like to earn a little bit too. So can you put butts in those seats? Can you get your audience to show up to stream, to pay, to buy if it's a pay-per-view that's actually online? Can you get them to buy it?
Most people don't realize how many tasks that there are to put on an event. And you like to realize when you're doing it that you're just fighting, right? You don't realize how much has to happen around you. And so a lot of people have to get paid. And then you're splitting all the other money with it, whatever's left with all of the people who partnered in. And now you see a multitude of promotional companies partnering together. Even Netflix is partnered with MVP. And MVP has partnered with all of the others like Gervonta Tank Davis, GTD. And the reason why they do that is because there are a lot of calls and a lot of responsibilities. And there's nothing that requires more task-driven responsibilities than boxing. That means even in a political realm,
true,
whatever you name, boxing is an insane endeavor to put on. So it's very costly. And a lot of athletes don't quite understand how they get profit share. Well, understanding how to get asses in seats is one way. So that's one of the things we try to make sure you guys are aware of. And if we also do have a thing, and it's called the takeover. And if you don't know what you're doing and you really know you need to, then just let me know. We got a DM. You got to learn how to use it.
That's right. That's the easiest way to get at us because we've
Mm-hmm.
got the resources. We're the go-to resource for you for anything that you need.
Yeah.
Um, so that kind of dovetails a little bit into something else we've talked a lot about this week is this couple people want to know, so how many fights do I need
Mm-hmm.
before I go pro?
Well, you can fight
And
a. Go ahead.
and so you go ahead. I know the answer, but
You can
let's
fight 1,000 fights,
yeah.
but if you're not incorporating or digesting or developing in the skill, then it's irrelevant how many fights you have
Mhm.
because that's not what it's measured on. It's not like, okay, you can fight 73 fights and you'll be able to beat Lennox Lewis in
Yeah.
1998. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen. All
Yeah.
right. So you have to realize that there are a checklist. And the checklist basically talks about your base from the ground up,
Mhm.
right? The footwork checklist, right? And then understanding defense, and then understanding the real science of counter punching. And so everything comes. You got to remember this too. You can't get too technical because techniques are designed in order to get you into a place out of a sticky situation. Hence is why you block here, use technique. But what has you in a place where a lot of people only are technical, that's one of the main reasons Devin Haney stunk it up against Ryan Garcia. Because Ryan was fighting and Devin was boxing. And if you only box, you get away from the natural algorithm to fight. And
Yeah.
that's the big deal. If you don't
Mhm.
know this, then you'll learn the hard way because
Mhm.
fighting is not just prize fighting as a
Mhm.
pro. You're not just using technique, you're using craft and you're learning how to become cagey and all in the mindset with humility mixed together to make one savage hybrid fighter. Hybrid
Yeah.
fighter is what?
The fighter with the best offense and defense.
Great offense
Mhm.
and great defense.
Yeah.
It's the merging because you're usually seeing people that only have either great offense or they're great defensively.
Mhm.
But proper training and development, progressive tiered programming helps you check all those boxes
Yep.
off.
Because I can remember, it's been a number of years ago now when you launched Mitmaster 3,
Yeah,
Punch Pad for Pros.
yeah,
And part of that dialogue and explaining it to your audience was this is where you learn how to fight
yeah. You learn how to fight.
because it is about prize fighting. It's different than the amateurs,
Mm-hmm.
and that example you just gave with Haney and Ryan is
Yeah.
is perfect. So
Yeah, because it was trying to be too technical. And when you're too technical, the other guy has the physical advantage because he doesn't have to think, he just reacts. And you can throw hard punches, you're reacting when you're throwing hard punches. But if you are being too technical, you have to think first. Even
mhm,
if you got good muscle memory, that's not natural movement. Real fighting is
mhm,
more natural. So whatever is the most natural, the fastest way to a point is a straight line to
mhm,
any point, right? 2 points. Fastest way there is a straight line, not
mhm.
having to think at all first, not having to think at all, but straight to the bone
Yeah.
and throwing punches like you mean it straight out of the gate, even squaring up, wow, learning how to fight. See, fighting ain't like when you're in the amateurs, learning all those techniques. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So you got to reframe your mind. People
Mhm.
like me who've gotten into the game and been there 4 decades know the difference and understand what you are doing wrong because you're still implementing your amateur stuff. And amateurs is not pros. It's a
Mhm.
totally different game,
Yeah.
sport.
That's good stuff. So I'm going to kind of combine two of these questions. They kept coming around over and over again. People wanted to know if they had turned pro, how do they get their fights? They're either not getting fights or they're wondering if they transition, are they just going to automatically get fights? I go pro, people are automatically, my phone's going to
It's
ring,
a good question.
So that's kind of putting two of those together. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm gonna answer one, and then you can ask the question again
Hmm.
because, uh,
How
for
do I
one,
get
if
my
I work my ass off to go down to the Caseo Center and lease rent that building for that night, and I have to hire all of these people. I got to go sell insurance, my insurance policy to pull it off, and then get a partner. And I'm over my head, can't even pay my mortgage, and bills is due. All of these different things are happening, and I see Stanley follow nobody, or nobody follows Stanley.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put him on my card. I need someone who's going to get my money back somehow, some way. So I'm looking for a guy who has, an outgoing personality that people are interested in watching. Who can be named one fighter that you're interested in watching without thinking about it?
Yeah.
This is not the era of Mike Tyson. This is not the era of Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. This is not Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran. This is not a great era of guys who are just like so great in the ring that you cannot. I mean, the guy that I want to see all the time is Conor Benn. Because Conor Benn is the most dangerous man in boxing right now. I don't care about that pound for pound list shit. Conor Benn has something in him that people pay to see, and it's almost scary to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So that's right now. If they say pull your money out, I don't want to see Boots Ennis. I don't want to see Inouye. I want to see a killer who reminds me of a throwback fighter. He doesn't walk around all in this perfect stance, technically boxing. He's off of his fighter instincts. It's fight or flight consistently. And then he has head movement. And then he's just bringing the savage package. That's what you pay for. You pay for the thing that you don't embody, or you don't get to embody on a daily basis. You're living your dreams through a guy who fights like that. That, my friend, is something that I've been in the sport of boxing for 4 decades. It's very, very rare.
Yeah.
And it's very scary. It's why I want to watch.
That's it. Well, I don't even think I need to ask that next question, because I think it's safe to assume that just because you go pro doesn't mean you're going to get noticed. And this comes back to, that's what people were asking. Am I going to get noticed? I got my pro card. I'm good. I'm going to get noticed. I'm going to get, and maybe this is a good time to talk about, you've said this before in the past, is there's a big difference between being a pro and a professional. Can you speak just for a moment about that, in case there's some people that are watching that are really giving this decision careful consideration?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is all you need to be a pro is license. And there are millions of them, right? And you probably could care less to see them, because they are guys who train in their basement. They go to the gym. They're very inconsistent. They're not really serious about the sport. So why should someone care? But then you got a professional, a person who does all the things. You can use Anthony Joshua as an example. Even though he wasn't early to boxing, he did a lot of things that would put him in the right positions to box and then go to the Olympics. He won a medal, and then he came into the sport, surrounding himself with people who actually will make sure he's in a place where he's going to train. He's going to get endorsements because he's living the part, he's looking the part, he's surrounded by people, and he understands that when he gets inside of that ring, he has to deliver smoke. And that's what you call a professional. He's doing deals. He's doing contracts. Canelo Alvarez, the same thing. You want to have the name that's on your robe, you wanted it to be reflected by companies that surround that robe, supporting that robe and your narrative and your mission on earth and what you're using boxing for. So a professional has all of those things clear. They understand their mission, and they actually have a vision which will lead them to their quest on earth. But you have to have a first goal. And the goal isn't just to get a license to fight. There's so many organizations. You can go get a license to fight anywhere, but what are you going to do with that thing? What's the mission? What's the vision? And where will that quest take you?
So. Ooh, that's something to sleep on for sure. So this was a really good question. And the young man that sent this in to us, he's looking to go pro, and he asked, "Do I need a manager or a promoter right out of the gate?" And here's what he said. He said, "I want to be official, but I don't know who's legit and who to trust." And I
Mm-hmm.
get that, because I also think back to the other video on your YouTube channel when you're talking about hiring a manager
Yeah.
and hiring your team. So that, I could even just feel the concern that he had in messaging that over to us.
He can get a sponsor, and a sponsor is a person that will speak for you in rooms that you're not allowed and that
Good
you
answer.
can't get into. And you don't have to go directly out and say, I'm going to get just an agent or I'm going to get just a manager. But who's going to do the deals when you're training at the gym for 8 hours? Who's going to set your fight card up? Who's going to match your fights? Who's going to see what you have to work on and align the right opponents?
Mm-hmm.
You're a business now, you're an ecosystem, so you have to do things you never thought you had to do. Boxing alone in the ring
Mm-hmm.
is not the job. The job
Yeah.
is to build a company. You're a company now. You're an ecosystem. You pay people to help you, right? Even if it's on the back end.
Yeah.
You don't have an option. You can build a big following like KSI and the Misfits all have, and
Yeah.
then you can just a
Mm-hmm.
manager will come. You'll have that. You got to think about what you're actually doing in the sport. But when you have to train as the athlete, if you're not competent in running a company, then you have to have people around you
A
speaking
team.
up for you. So you have to add a team. You are business. I mean, imagine walking into, you know, AT&T to buy an Apple phone, and you go in there and ain't nobody working but the guy who made it. You got Steve Jobs' casket in the store. Like, that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have, who's the CEO of Apple right now? If you think that guy's gonna be in there, like, you can't run a company by yourself. And
Yeah.
so that's where this is all going to, because great people build great teams.
That's it.
Period. That's exactly what they asked Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what did he do great? What was his greatest accomplishment? Was it the Tesla? Was it SpaceX? He was like, no, being able to build a team.
That's it. That's it. So I would just say, in keeping with that, let's talk just a moment about, that same point to a trainer that has had this fighter under their tutelage for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and they're progressing. They see things moving forward, and they're used to being the only one taking care of that athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's what you just said, that these trainers have to learn how to build that team. If
Yeah.
they're going to build
Yeah.
a stable is not just one trainer.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of the details that led Canelo to a loss. Everybody knew that he had been spelling in footwork. He lost to Floyd because of footwork. Almost lost to Aris Landalora for footwork. Almost once again got to a place where he lost to School. And this guy's not even a fraction of what he is
Yeah.
capability,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what happens is you got enough signs over the course of time, and you still don't make the adjustment by adding a person into that camp. You know, Henry Cejudo said he needs to go find a black trainer. That's on the channel because he doesn't have good footwork. He doesn't have footwork speed. He understands how to pressure you. He understands how to fight off of his back foot, but he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand how to put it together when you're fighting somebody who has good footwork and ring generalship. And that's all Canelo's missing. He got that. That's a totally different fight.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to close it out with this, footwork is important, but when you think about guys who have gotten away with things that position you to have great success, Kenny Porter knew that he hadn't fought for championships. So when his son, Sean Porter, got to a certain level, he started allowing Coach Barry Hunter, who's partners with my coach,
Mm-hmm.
to be the other set of eyes in the corner, the other voice, the other whisperer, because you're going to need it at the levels that you're getting to in boxing when you're now the targeted. And now everybody's in the sport trying to call you out and get a piece of you. You can't see everybody, so you need another set of eyes. And if a coach won't allow another person in camp, hell, Rocky brought in Apollo Creed and
Yeah.
they fought 2 times. So you got to think about why this is a thing in boxing. You have to have eyes that have that experience, and those experiences are going to be the reason why you're able to take the thing to the next level. So
There
that's,
you
yeah,
go.
you definitely need to get help as you climb the ladder. Floyd had a team, Pacquiao had a team, and period, point blank. And we were a part of the Pacquiao team, for 6.5 years during that time where he had that tremendous run, and
I'm trying
it
to
took
read our.
everybody.
I'm just trying to read our question. We got a question up there.
Okay.
How can they what? How come they don't punch with two hands at once?
Well, because that's called rabbit punching.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't. It's against the rule. They don't punch behind the head. They don't hit in the kidney. You got to be careful with certain
Back
things.
of head.
And yeah, every once in a while you'll see somebody try to pull that off. I think was it Floyd did it. Somebody did it to Floyd. Or was it Zab Judah? He'd reach over the back of his head and hit you
Mm,
and throw a punch from the behind the back.
yeah.
Yeah, you do that enough, you'll get clipped. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to bring up one more question, one more thing that came around. It was coming around records, several questions about records. And really, what it boiled down to is if you lose your first fight or your first two fights, is your career
Your
over?
career is over if you don't have a following of people that's supporting you for more than just your boxing.
Mm-hmm.
That that's the number one reason we say get familiar with building relationships using your city, your town, the community centers, the schools, the
Mm-hmm.
colleges, local businesses, your social media pages. Learn how to connect and get people into your story. What's your story? If you don't have a story, nobody cares anyway, because they can't even do a good embedded on you or a good all access on you if you don't have a good story. So what's the sauce of your story? What
Who
if
are
the
you?
camera was on you and you're on all access? Who are you?
Who are
It
you?
doesn't matter who you are. The only thing that matters is the plan. Nobody gives a shit about you
Yeah.
unless you have a brand.
There you
Boom.
go.
Go
Good deal.
ahead. Is somebody else
I
dropping one?
think it's let's see, our same fella. Everyone just patting their record, fighting tomato cans anyway.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can say that, but how many years have you trained in the boxing gym and had to have a career built on development as well?
Mm-hmm.
So every fight has a purpose for a team of people who have to go home to their loved ones or their people who they have other endeavors to take part with. So every fight can't be against Hagler. It doesn't make financial sense all the time. And it doesn't make sense to your health because it is fighting. 13 people a year die,
13 too many.
right? 13 too
Mm-hmm.
many. And the reason why that is because people don't understand that this is not rock'em sock'em robots.
Yeah.
These are human beings that go home with concussions
Mm-hmm.
week after week after week after week. You can't leave the gym without them.
That's right.
So, you got to stop focusing on judging a book and understanding what they're actually going through. Go to the local gym, get a mouthpiece and a headgear, and go spar some of those guys you're talking about. Go do a few rounds with Tank Davis. Go do a few rounds with Errol Spence. Go do a few rounds with Crawford.
Yeah.
Check out Canelo, see what it feels like to get in the ring with him. And then tell me, is it okay to take a light fight? But it ain't no such thing as a light fight in boxing. Everybody trains every day.
Yeah.
You get it?
They're already in the gym.
Somebody got to win and somebody got to lose. So anybody that says fighters are tomato cans obviously ain't never been in a boxing gym.
Yep. Let's see. We got one that came in. What would a beginner focus on in the beginning? Bag work,
No,
their form, or their
no,
technical
no.
angling, or
You
some
don't know.
form?
You don't need to know how to do anything but stance. Your whole focus is mindset first. What type of mentality are you taking inside of the boxing ring? Are you hoping to have some kind of dynamic outcome? Are you focusing on learning? That's why I said you don't need to learn in the boxing room. You go to school to learn. So you need to be in a setting so you understand the vocabulary. Because what's happening is fighters are going to the boxing gym and the coach is saying, give me a pivot. They don't understand what that is.
No clue.
Somebody do a side step. Let me see you do a step around. They don't know these things. You need to be learning the vocabulary and the vernacular in a setting. That's why we have books so that you can learn and get familiar. So when they say it in the gym, it's not foreign language.
Yeah.
You got to remember there's only so many coaches in there and there are so many students. They don't have time to mess with you unless you're buying private lessons with people. And everybody has to eat, and people have to learn to teach you in a manner that it's not like a day one every single time. So you have to have classroom setting. That's why we created the School of Boxing.
And for the beginners, the prep school.
Absolutely.
That's what we have. If you've never been over to our website, this is specifically why this guy right here created the boxing prep school. So it starts a beginner out right. You will nail your fundamentals and have a kick-ass program to follow every single day. It won't steer you wrong.
Yeah, prep school is dope. It's definitely one of the most constant sellers. But what I want everybody to take away from this is it doesn't matter what you're doing in a gym because you're not meant to learn and get hit at the same time. How many teachers are throwing an exam at you on the first day of school? It's not going to happen. You take that when they know you've digested and got it in your head, then you go and start fighting. So you get it in your brain, you read the program, you learn it, you watch the videos. Then you go to the boxing gym, do your practical training with your partner. And with your partner, you're learning how to get muscle memory. And then you step it up into turning it up and then start sparring. There's a process. I use that process, and we're well over 300 titles in the amateur rankings. And I've been in over 40 championship training camps and at least 7 or 8 virtual conversations for MMA fighters. And a lot of these guys are thankful that we take such a very serene approach to teaching. We teach. And you got to learn it. Yeah, you don't even know the vocabulary of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Show me a step around. Do me a counterclockwise pivot. Show me a Ray Robinson. Get it? What's a kamikaze? You don't know any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Windshield wiper. Let me see a head pop. How are you going to box if you don't know the vocabulary? So you got to learn the things that you need to know when you step into the gym on day one. You're not just like a fish out of the water because you're going to be lost and you're going to feel inferior because you're going to look inferior. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And we've got somebody asking about what's the best way to improve cardio other than running.
Breath work. You understand, you need to understand that your parasympathetic nervous system controls your breathing. And if you don't understand how to go about doing breath work, 7-Elevens is one that I just got on. I work with professionals who do this for real. You know, Robert Bahadri is doing it, and his teachings are on iTunes. And I talked with him about a month ago and yesterday on that breath work, and he's releasing his new breath work. It doesn't matter how much running you do and how much cardiovascular you do. I did it before and I spoke to this. If you run 1,000,000 miles, it doesn't matter because nothing is triggering your nervous system. But when you fight, you trigger your nervous system. So the number one thing that you can do is really start concentrating on the hypoxic training, learning how to breath control, all right? Diaphragmatic breathing techniques. And that helps you control the breath. It keeps your nervous system aligned and calm. And those are practices that you have to get into. That's why Michael Phelps, when he swam in the Olympics, was such a fish in the water because he understood breath work.
Yeah.
masterful underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So these resistance to your long drills and control your breath are the absolute pinnacle of conditioning. You can get through twice as much, half as conditioned if you understand the breathing. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to understand breathing, type hybrid, and there's a program that we gave you guys for free that you can look at that program. Is it still on the
Well, where's
website?
it? Yeah, we'll have to watch it closely here on YouTube because it'll be in the description. We'll
It's
make
in
sure
the
it's down there.
description. Go to hybrid and click that link.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, because it'll
After
go
the
away.
stream, this is all going to go away.
Yeah.
So you can always reach out to us directly. You can look down in the description. We'll make sure once this posts, we'll have
Or
the
become a
description type.
member, or become a member in the YouTube portal.
Yeah.
And then you'll start getting access. We start that up at the end of this month. So if you become a member, then you'll start having the proper training, learning how to do your conditioning, learning how to box through using programs. So
Yeah.
that's up to you. But the
Yeah,
bottom line
that
is
option's there.
the only thing we
Correct.
want to do is help the people that want the help, and we got that. So we're the number one first fight school. You see a lot of people doing it, but it's not. We were the first. 15 years in now.
Yep, set the standard for sure. Our friend Adam said thank you. He asked the beginner question, so you made that all make sense for him. You're very welcome, Adam. Glad you were here. Let's see. That might be about it for right now. Let's see.
Let me see.
Let's see as we scroll.
I can't do the thing. Something popped in. The questions I can't see.
All right, I think we got to most of them right now. This
Good.
will replay, and I know the comments on replay are going to really be put in there. So
good. Well, that's one of the keyest things. Like I said, if you're going to start and if you're going to take the chance and go pro, because now you got, like I said, Aiden Ross. He said he was looking for fighters. Then you got, the dirty boxing. So if you want to be more in the MMA field, we got connections in the BKFC, and you got Mike Perry. All of those guys, we are directly one cell phone call away from any of those guys.
Facts.
My thing is, if you're going to fight, then follow this series. Champions are made, how champions are made, learning how to really get educated in your brain for boxing first. And if you're a beginner and you want to just do it to get physically fit, we have in our thing down there, it's called prep school.
Prep school.
Go into prep school, click that, get that downloaded. You can do your physical daily training. You don't have to be a professional fighter to actually train like you are in a boxing camp. And that's what it'll give you the opportunity to do. So, and then there's just more accessible things that you can get in our boxing superstore, which is down in the description. So this will be, like I said, this is just setting you up, because we have a lot of different organizations starting now that are starting to bring in guys, and they're coming straight pro. Most of these guys have never been in the ring before. And if you want to feel comfortable, we got to buy into where we are now in history. 3 years ago, I would never have done this. But now we're in a place where guys are fighting. Salt Poppy follows us now. All of these guys, we got thousands. Mauricio Suleiman started following us yesterday and resharing our posts and stuff. But it's just, what we got to do is think about what we want. And if we really want it, am I willing to do it right? If you want to do it right, then you got to have a process, because it's dangerous in that ring. It doesn't matter if you had an extensive amateur career, it's still dangerous. So people are going to continue to take your light, and they're going to end up realizing why people don't fight without education. All right. So get that textbook education, know how to do the thing you need to do. And when you do this thing right, that's when the lights don't get too bright on that fight night. You get what I'm saying? So this is a good little thing that I wanted you guys to all know, that we're here, and our focus 15 years ago was to turn this YouTube platform into a place where you could learn that there are available lessons and understanding how to take a career and build it, and then learn how to expand your success level and spread it around, because it's not about one individual person. It's about what are you doing with that. All the experiences that I have, I've given it to people, and it's helped so many people win titles. It's helped so many people feed their families. It's helped so many people start their own gyms. It helped so many people understand what it's like to teach and have a winning team.
Yeah.
And so that's because I chose to do that. And so that's my mark. When it's all said and done, don't just do it just for your own purpose. Do it to spread it and make it bigger than you. All right. So hopefully this was something valuable to you.
Yeah, and you got something coming up tonight too, right? You have something jumping off tonight?
Oh yeah, we have a video going up, and it's going to basically cover some of this same kind of stuff, but it's going to be about, because we're going to be a part of the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul event here in Miami. And it's a great conversation that's going down, and it's going to be good. So check it out. If you are not on Instagram, holler at us on Instagram at Master Boxing.
There you go.
All right. It'll be on YouTube as well. But just take time, keep it locked, and hit that notification bell if you haven't, so you get notified when you got some good quality stuff. If you want to try one of those fundamental training programs, or if you're actually training seriously and you got a real program and you got some real fighters and you need, to add some sizzle to what you're doing, then reach out to us. Our boxing superstore is absolutely loaded. Right?
It's fire.
We got great bundles for you. So Coach Bradley, and I'm going to be signing out. Look forward to seeing you guys next time in the winner's circle.
Hi, guys.
Peace, guys. Who are you?
Who are you?
Doesn't matter who you are.